from other companies?
What separates Tidewater is an interesting question, and I'm one of the few people, and I consider myself this way, to be uniquely qualified to answer this question. And I'm uniquely qualified because of this. I've had a 24-year career in lending, loans of one way, shape, or form or another. And in that career, I've worked for a number of different companies. So I can honestly say I know what the competition does because I've worked for the competition. I've worked for great big mortgage companies. I've worked for smaller local companies. I've actually, for a stint, had my own broker shop. So I've had ownership in companies. So I've worked a great deal in a great different setting in mortgages, but always dealt with lending. So I am uniquely qualified to answer what is Tidewater, how is Tidewater different, because I've seen the others. How is Tidewater different? It's twofold. From my experience and what I've seen in the industry is two things. Number one, companies get so big that people become numbers. And when people become numbers, there's less care or interest in making sure that transaction is human, making sure that we relate to this family. Anytime someone's buying a house, it's not an account number. It's a family that needs a roof over their head and home ownership, and they're trying to achieve their dreams and making the biggest expense of their lives. So when we have that situation, we're small enough that we have the resources and the personal culture and touch to approach the transaction that way. And number two, we're big enough. In other words, we're not so small that we get lost in the process. We are big enough that we have a myriad of products, all those products that I've mentioned before, USDA, VHDA, VA, FHA, conventional, different loan programs, different products, and we're constantly expanding our product base to where we're big enough that we can deliver on things. We can deliver on things with fantastic competitive interest rates, and we can basically have the best of both worlds. So we can deliver the right product. We have a small enough company culture that we're dealing with people on an individual human basis. So all that goes into play. In 2017, getting ready to go into 2018, one thing I can honestly say is most companies have figured this thing out. We had about a 3 or 4 year stretch where it was kind of gamey to get a mortgage. People would call and you would hear horror stories all the time. It's taking me 45 days to close. It's taking me 90 days to close. It's taking me, they won't call me back. They won't do this. They won't do that. And you hear about that with other companies and you see that out there. You don't hear that as much anymore because we survive TRID, we survive compliance, we survive regulations. The companies that couldn't hack it, they're gone. So the people that are left have actually figured it out. You can go to any different company and more than likely get your deal closed. Now, can it be closed effectively? Do we go through the options with you? Does everyone have that personal touch? That's where we have a difference at Tidewater Mortgage Services. That's where we have a difference with the Hurd Home Team. The Hurd Home Team is a team within Tidewater where we have 4 people on one team that have 40 years worth of mortgage experience. We're ready to answer the phone. We're ready to talk to you. We're ready to come see you. We're ready to sit down with you and answer any questions you have and not only get you closed, but hopefully make this transaction fun. I know it sounds crazy. Mortgage and fun is kind of like an oxymoron, but it can be fun. And I pride myself and our team prides ourselves on building that relationship. We're not trying to close deals just to close deals. I like closing the deal and making a friend. I want to build a relationship. I consider all of my clients friends. When we close their transactions, it feels like I'm helping a family member. We've got them into a place. We try to stay in touch because our goal is not to do that transaction. Our goal is to be a go-to person for that couple or for that family or for that person. If you're buying a house and you need answers, we're here during the process, before the process, in the middle of the process, and after the process. Because one day you might buy again. One day you might have a family member that's interested. And we want to make sure it's memorable, it's fun as possible, with as few flow chart bubbles as possible, that you had a good experience and you will be more than likely to refer people over to us because we treated you right and we had fun during the process. Tidewater allows that. Tidewater specifically has an operations team, a processing team, an underwriting team. I feel so blessed to be in a situation because if I have an issue, if I have a problem, if there's an obstacle that we need to overcome in someone's transaction, I don't have to kick the walls, I don't have to get in line, I don't have to sit in a queue of 50 people or wait a week to hear from somebody. I have a direct line, if I need to the president of the company. I could talk to the owner of the company. I could talk to anyone in ops about what we need to do or operations about what we need to do to get something done. And everyone is genuinely concerned about what can we do to help these people get closed and get into this home. And you don't have that at other companies. And that is what separates us from others.